All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, Steve, what's happening? Gary, Brian, Kyle, what's up? David, Len, who disturbs my slumber? What the hell is a slumber?
Sleep.
You were sleeping already?
Who has
Andrew, what's going on?
notifications on when they're sleeping?
I don't know. Steve Adario does. Mandy, what's going on? Ted Puzio, what's up? So let me share my story for today. I was in New York City to do a talk for a friend of mine, and I went upstairs to, he said it's from Aladdin. Okay. What's up, Mary? And so I went up there to get mic'd up by the AV guy, and Mike Disney was there. And so he looks at me and he goes, "Is that what you're going to be wearing?" And I said, "Yeah, did you expect something else?" And he was just like, "Oh." He was like really, really confused, this guy. He was so confused by, this is what I was going to be wearing. Well, I had a different CEO Warrior shirt on. But I thought that was really an interesting way to start a new conversation with somebody. Like, he never met me before. And then he was like, "Is that what you're wearing?" And I was like, "Yep, that's exactly what I'm wearing." So, but it was a really cool talk, and I did a great job there. But here's what I started thinking, and I told my wife, she said, "What's the subject?" I said, "The subject will be..."
How great your wife is.
Yes, the subject, Mary, is how great my wife is. This is all we're going to talk about tonight, is how amazing my wife is, and incredible. And she bought this big elephant picture here, and she's so amazing. And we're going to eat ice cream together.
You could get back to your story.
All right, so she said get back to the story. So I was thinking of how many times that, you judge people. And so what I wanted to do is flip it on its head, right? And flip it on its head and say, instead of judging, being curious. So when I got on stage, my friend George says, loves the elephant and ice cream. So that's good news. That's good. We're going to eat the ice cream right here while we look at the elephant. So I think if you could, instead of, I got to imagine, like, look, I'm going to speak in front of 300 dance owners, George, for Clint's business. And so here comes this, I guess, tattooed guy, and he's going to go on stage and he's going to do this stuff. So then it started to lead me into the next subject, which was this comparison effect. And the comparison, what's up, Tom Casey? Len, the ice cream tonight is strawberry, because it's the only one that doesn't have corn syrup in it and all kinds of garbage in it. And my wife and I are still doing our best to not eat the junk. Yep, Tom Casey, I don't plan on growing it for a while. I don't plan on growing it for a while at all. So what happens is this comparison effect is you comparing yourself to the world, you comparing yourself to others, you comparing yourself to people on TV. What's up, James? What's up, Shane? You comparing yourself to everything else out there. So what happens is you start to become inferior, right? You start to feel inferior compared to everything else. So today the example I used which was very dated, but I didn't really have a better example. I said LL Cool J.
Okay.
But that's the example that came to my mind. And the comparison effect is that you're always comparing yourself to everybody on the internet. And then it's like the Joneses, right? You're comparing yourself to the neighbors. And then I wonder how many times your employees have this comparison effect. Now, I don't see any benefit in the comparison effect. The only benefit I see... I'm going to talk a little bit about numbers tonight. Are you going to get our ice cream ready or no?
It's still not how great your wife is.
I already said how great my wife is. We already got that out of the way already. Yes, right in the beginning, we got that out of the way. So the comparison effect here is not what you want. You don't want to be comparing yourself to other people's companies. You don't want to compare yourself to other people's vehicles. You don't want to compare your looks to other people. The only thing you want to compare yourself to is who you were yesterday, okay, and who you want to be today. That's it. It's the only comparison effect that you should make, because the other ones, all they do is sabotage your mind. All they do is hijack your mind. They make you feel inferior, or they make you feel like you're incompetent, or it makes you feel like you're not deserving of things. But if you could just say to yourself the simple, it's the gap analysis, right? And we talk about this. Now everybody's getting ice cream. Steve Adario said, get the ice cream. That's what he said. And everybody's getting ice cream now. So the simple gap analysis is where you're at, where you want to go, and then how do you get there? And there's rungs. So I always said, the gap analysis is where you are, where you want to go, and then there's kind of a ladder of rungs. And each ladder gets you closer to moving forward into this where you want to go. But if you're constantly referencing against something else, then you're constantly going to be stuck. It's none of my business what the other one thinks. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. Tom Casey's not getting ice cream. Yes, but you are thinking about it now, Mr. Casey. You are. I want plenty. I want plenty of it tonight. So as you're thinking about that, the other thing I want to talk about numbers, because numbers I think is always just an interesting thing. It just popped in my head. The comparison effect, because I think it applies to the comparison effect, right? Like, this is a common thing. You're in all these Facebook groups, right? All these people. And in the trade Facebook, everybody's like, what's your conversion? And what's your average? And what's your blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, does that ever really matter? Does it really, really matter what someone else's conversion is somewhere else in the world? It doesn't. Steve Adario, Tom Casey, you have been voted out of the ice cream club. I'm comparing my ice cream to your ice cream right now. Maggie, Maggie's on. She knows we're eating ice cream now. And we're testing our blood sugar. And I'm pretty sure we're going to do better, because I'm pretty sure it was the corn syrup in the wet walnuts that knocked everything out, Maggie. So if you could kind of understand the KPIs and numbers of what you have, and just sit there and forget about comparing it to everyone else. Just say to yourself, what is the strategy? What is the insight? What has to happen to get your conversion, your average, your profit? Let's do this real quick. Let's talk about numbers, because clearly I'm thinking about it right now. And I want to know, Mandy's eating frozen Oreos. Tim's, you're 100% closing rate. That's awesome. But what's the average? Right? We don't really care about closing rate, because, you could have a service fee of $69, right? And everybody closes 100% of that, right? So that's not impressive. So what I want to talk about is profitability right now. Here's what I want to know from everybody on here. I want everybody to type in something. What's up, Matt Puzio? If there was 3 things that you had to do is to raise your profit, what are the 3 things that you would do today to raise your profit? Or what are the 3 things you're not getting done to raise your profit? Compare against your own performance and focus improvement. 100%. But so, Tom, answer this for me. I want to know. No, not really. Just stuff that gets thrown out there. Okay, cool. What are 3 things you could do to improve your profit? I'm going to give you one of them right now. And I don't know if any companies that really do this well. Maybe you do, but I'm going to tell you it changed the game. Because years ago, before Rob and I sold, which is probably 4 years ago, Jay Abraham was asking about my numbers, and he said, this is ridiculous. You got to get to double-digit profit. Anything below double-digit profit is ridiculous. And I was like, that was the turning point for me, where I said, okay, I got to change the game. So the first thing, Gary, that we did for profit was we explained what profit was in detail to all our employees in a meeting. So let me know if you guys have done that. Have you explained to your employees the the art of profitability. Do they understand it? Do they know that for every dollar you spend, what's up Disney, what's up Pete, that you're keeping this much? And when you start telling people that you're 6% profit and you're like, for every dollar we're keeping 6 cents, your people start to say, okay, that's a problem. So number one, education. You must educate everybody in your company on what creates profitability. Okay, ready for number two? Number two for profitability is you must have a key indicator that everybody sees. Okay, so here's what I say. If revenue is the body, revenue is the physical body, then profitability is the heart. It's the health of the body. Do you get that? Profitability is the health of it. So now what I want you guys to do is every week have a profitability on your dashboard. It could be, I'm not big on these little computer dashboards that nobody ever sees. I'm big on a whiteboard. I'm big on something that everybody sees in the shop, in the office, and just have it as a simple red, yellow, green, and super green. And if double digits, if 15% is green, well then great. If super green is 20% or greater, now what happens is week by week, everybody gets to see if you're profitable week by week, which gets everybody to ask questions. Okay, number three. So one, everybody understands what makes profitability. Number two, we have a dashboard, simple, red, yellow, green, super green. It would be cool if you had a real stoplight and you just flipped on the code and it was lit that way. And then number three is to have course correction plans for every single one of them. Now I got to finish this in a minute. The ice cream's done?
Yeah, we have to eat it in there because it is not.
Okay. So the next thing says, me and my P&L says I'm at 50%. Awesome. So the next thing is you have to have course correction devices, which means you have to have strategies to course correct things. So what I want you to do is, and I'm going to give you a way to save money. Here's what I did multiple times a year. I ran what was called the top 100. Now, the top 100, just so you guys know, take the top 100 things that you use on a regular basis that are above a nut, a washer, or a screw, and go to competitive bid to 3 different companies. Okay, go to competitive bid on 3 different companies and evaluate the cost. That's going to save you right there, okay? Because 2 ways to become more profitable: raise the ceiling, lower the floor, do both. Make more money, lower the expenses, do both at the same time, push the ceiling and the floor, and you are going to start to win a lot more money. Now, I'm giving you one tip to save money, right? Another tip to be able to save money is buy things either at a discount, okay? Buy things in bulk. I talked about this on my webinar the other day. If you didn't see the webinar the other day, you should find a way to get it. Buy things in bulk. Buy things with certain ways to leverage co-op, right? All of these ways are going to save you money. And I mean, there's plenty of packages. Go to everybody. I don't care if it's the toilet bowls you buy, thermostats. Hey, if I buy 5 thermostats right now, can I get 2 free? All of this makes a huge, huge difference, okay? Last thing for raising the profitability that turn the needle really, really quick, have a process. Have a proven process. Now, I'm going to tell you something. What's up, Justin? Most people in their company, and tell me you're doing it 100%. If you're doing this 100%, now, of course, if you're running the job and you're one guy in a truck, you're 100%. But if you're doing this 100%, right, 100%, every time a customer says no, you're calling someone else on the phone to get on the phone with them. Second call process. I want to know how many of you are doing that right now, 100%. We did it really, really well. Even when I was in the field, I never told the people when I was running jobs I was the owner. So I say, you know what, let me give a call to my office and I want to just see if there's any promotions and incentives right now. And I would call and Rob would pick up, my partner, and say, hey, is there any incentives or promotions now? And we do them, and then I'd create an incentive or promotion right there. Now, don't be one of those guys that or gals that are like, oh, I can't, I don't do discounting and stuff. It's like, okay, sure. Okay, so I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm not telling you to do foolish discounting. I'm telling you to do strategic built-in discounting. Everybody does it on every level of different types of business. Nope, need to do it. All right, awesome. Yeah, you have to. I do that as well. Perfect, awesome. I hope this is super helpful. Everybody, do me a favor. Type in what your big nugget is and what you're going to apply. I need you to apply this stuff. That's why I do these videos for you. So make sure to type in right now what you're going to implement. But I got ice cream and TV to watch TV with my wife waiting for me, and she's been kind enough. Did everybody know? Did I tell you my wife's amazing? I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that she was amazing. All right, everybody, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Boom. I'll see you tomorrow on tomorrow's video.